Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm on an absolutely stunning ship, the second biggest in the world sailing right now, Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas. In this video I will take you on a full ship tour of this marvel, covering the outdoor spaces, the restaurants, the activities on offer, the bars and entertainment venues. It's going to be full on, so let's get going. Starting outside on the pool deck, there are 4 main pools up here, as well as hot tubs, showers, sun loungers, many sun lounging areas with plenty of beds, also bright colorful decorations, and it's very spacious to walk around. The pool you see here has in it the kids area Splashaway Bay, and in front of it the water slides called the Perfect Storm. At the back of Deck 16 is the FlowRider, a sort of surfing simulator, and this is an included activity in your cruise fare. The giant anglerfish is the entrance to the Ultimate Abyss, a dry slide that takes you all the way from Deck 16 to Deck 6. Also up here is the Playscape. It's a sunken kids play area, and it has the Lighthouse, a multi-level structure where kids can go inside, climb up and slide down. And up here we get a view down onto the boardwalk. Also the zip line, which stretches from one end of the boardwalk to the other, which, although short, would be exhilarating, I'm sure. Here's the Aqua Dunes mini golf, another great outside activity. Also, it was illuminated at night, which added to the atmosphere walking around at night. A quick peek at this sail-away party. It was centered around the twin pools towards the back of the ship. It was very lively, with lots of participation, and the entertainment staff keeping everyone in the mood. The champagne gun certainly didn't hurt, and that made the rounds quite a few times. Now we'll move inside to the main dining room. It is spread across 3 decks, decks 3, 4, and 5, at the back of the ship. I was impressed with the layout. Comfortable dining chairs, lots of space between tables, and I also think the decoration felt like it matched the size of the space. Utopia of the Seas can hold more than 7,000 passengers, and I thought it was well organized and the staff were really friendly and professional. Now for the food. If you've seen my previous videos, you know I had a good experience with Royal Caribbean main restaurant dining. Here's a sample menu from the final night, and the menu theme changed each night. I like that they keep some favorites, the Royal classics across all ships. Like this French onion soup was as good as remembered. The braised lamb was well cooked. It isn't fine dining with the presentation, but it's well worth coming here compared with specialty dining, I think. The fried chicken gets full marks. Really delicious with the sides. The apple cobbler and vanilla ice cream was a beautiful dessert. However, the cheese plate was a little uninspiring. At the very front of the ship on decks 4 and 5 is the Royal Theater. This is a very large space, as you can see, and the theater production on our cruise was called All In, a musical variety show showing off the high-tech features of this theater. Overall high-quality production. Just be aware that, although it is big, there is not room for everybody, and arrive early for a good seat. On deck 4 is where you find the casino. Utopia of the Seas actually offers 2 casinos. This is the non-smoking casino near the theater located forward on deck 4. I have seen a few casinos on board cruise ships, and I have to say, I have seen main casinos much smaller than this dedicated non-smoking one. There are table games too, as well as slots. Then, connecting front and back of the ship on deck 4, you need to pass through the art gallery. I don't know if it's true, but I read that the Utopia of the Seas' art collection has more works than the Louvre in Paris, and that the onboard art's worth is over $7 million US. True or not, if you did see something you like, you can buy it, and they will pack it and deliver it to your home for you. After passing through the art gallery, we find ourselves in the main casino, the Casino Royale. If you don't mind a bit of gambling on a cruise, and I would say many people on this cruise did not mind at all because it was always full from opening till late. It was a huge casino with the usual mix of table games and slot machines, all brand new and plenty of options. I'm also not against a bit of gambling, although it goes without saying that you should not wager more than you are willing to lose. But I did get lucky on one machine in here. And here's a little clip I thought I'd share. Not exactly a windfall in any case. Next, I'm going to show you Utopia Station. Utopia Station is where you board the Royal Railway, which is a new specialty restaurant offering, and it's currently exclusive to Utopia of the Seas, although I wouldn't be surprised if they expand it. The experience starts with a welcome drink on the platform, and then you board the train car for a Wild West-themed immersive dining experience. You're presented with some very funny-sounding menu choices, all following the Old West theme. And then the journey begins. This detailed route map covers what you will see on the journey, and it's matched with what you see out of the windows. The moving screens and the motion of the dining car do give you the feeling of being on a train, so that was fun. Then there was the Armed Bandit storyline and actors to add the entertainment. The food and presentation was elevated to the level of a specialty restaurant. These canapes were exceptional. The corn chowder and the golden chicken nuggets were pretty good, 4 out of 5. Also the main sweet trieds, beef short rib, and the baby chicken poussin, both also very good. And for dessert, the Royal Railway chocolate cigar, in a mound of chocolate dirt and ice cream, looks really inventive. And the taste was okay. Oasis-class ships are not without an ice rink, and Studio B on Deck 4 is where you could take in a figure skating performance. I thought this was brilliant. Highly talented skaters, and quality storytelling. Just bring a sweater and, like the theater show, book in advance and arrive early. At the back of the ship now on Deck 6 is the Boardwalk. This is an open-air space with additional restaurants and family areas. You have Johnny Rocket's American Diner, which has an additional charge for lunch and dinner. Apparently it's included for breakfast, although I haven't tried that. And the Playmakers Sports Bar, at which food is also an additional charge. Drinks are included in a deluxe beverage package, if you have one. Lots of big screens to catch any sporting events you might miss while on vacation. And of course, the carousel. You can get boardwalk-facing balcony cabins, which would offer you views of everything going on the boardwalk, including the AquaTheater shows. The AquaTheater hosts these incredible aquatic shows. The pool is a marvel, constantly changing in depth to keep you anxiously wondering how the performers are able to dance on and high dive into the same pool. Set to 80s music, it was a great show, and I highly recommend not to miss it. Up to Deck 8, to the Central Park. Oasis-class ships are divided into neighborhoods, and I think this is my favorite space because it is so unique to have on a cruise ship. It's open air, so the real plants get real sun and rain. It's a pleasant space to walk day or night. Evening is more lively with the specialty restaurants here. First is 150 Central Park, which is a specialty dining restaurant, saying they promote seasonal ingredients and fresh from the source. It is an elegant looking space, and we didn't get to try this time, but I look forward to trying it on my next Oasis-class cruise on Allure of the Seas. So look out for that video. There are also balcony cabins here overlooking the park, which would also be pretty unique. Let me know in the comments if you would prefer a balcony with a sea view, boardwalk, or Central Park view. I did enjoy seeing some of the same plants I have at home indoors growing happily here outdoors. Also, here in Central Park is Chop's Grille, Royal Caribbean's Steakhouse, a specialty restaurant specializing in steaks. It's also an elegant dining space, and you need to leave lots of room for this menu. Colossal shrimp cocktail. Lots of delicious sides. Mushrooms, asparagus, spinach. The sides were delicious, and you can order as many sides as you like. And the main event, which is the steak cooked to order, and a selection of desserts. This is the warm chocolate cake, if you have any room left. This gap in the middle of Central Park is the Rising Tide Bar. It travels vertically between decks 5 and 8, which is pretty cool. Another bar coming up is the Trellis Bar. And just to note, the Central Park area can get pretty lively at night if you were considering a park view cabin. Our final stop in Central Park is the Izumi in the park, which is a Japanese cuisine specialty restaurant. There is a takeaway sushi counter from the outside, and the restaurant is divided into two offerings. You have Izumi's sushi for lunch or dinner, and you have the teppanyaki offering, which is where a chef will prepare your dinner at the center of the table on a hot grill, feeding you and keeping you entertained. It's very lively, and I do recommend to try it. Further on is the inside seating for the Izumi sushi, and I love the Japanese-inspired design in here. As I mentioned, you can choose lunch or dinner, and it does come with an additional charge. Let's look at the Windjammer at the back of the ship on deck 15. This is the main buffet restaurant with breakfast, lunch, and dinner included in your cruise fare. It needs to be a big space on such a large ship, and I appreciated how easy it was to navigate, and I also appreciated the special touches like this cupcake display. Everything was well labeled and well laid out, and finding a seat was not really a problem. The food was generally well seasoned and hot, and I would eat here multiple times on a longer cruise, no problem. For example, they had fish, chicken, beef steaks, which I thought were excellent addition to a buffet, and a carvery that changed daily. Not to mention waffles for breakfast, but also curries that changed every day as well, and I do love a curry. Selection of cheeses and salads. You could build your own salad, which I also like to do. And not to forget the desserts. So always leave room, and these were great. I tried quite a few. The cookies were excellent, and I do recommend it. The music hall is located on decks 8 and 9 on Utopia, and here there are lots of music events, mostly live bands, although there would also be music quizzes and game shows. There is a bar on both levels and a view out onto the boardwalk. This venue is very close to cabins. Our cabin was on deck 9, not far from the music hall, and I have to say we did not have any disturbance. Giovanni's Italian is an Italian restaurant, another specialty dining restaurant on board, located a bit out of the way on decks 11 and 12. It is also a wine bar which you can visit even if not dining here. There is a really extensive wine menu, and the restaurant is Italian, so specializing in pizza and pasta. and heading outside to the alfresco dining area. This is really neat, but for one obvious exception. The Boardwalk balcony cabins have a view of you eating your spaghetti. Or do you have a view of them doing whatever? We're on the upper decks now, starting with the Solarium. It's located at the very front of the ship on decks 14 and 15. This is an adults-only area with sun loungers, pools, and a bar. Meant to be a relaxing space in the daytime with sweeping views out to sea. The only thing missing perhaps is there is no outside viewing platform. It's very serene walking around in the early hours, but it could get busy and difficult to find an available bed. I like how Royal Caribbean offers complete front-facing sea views, whereas other cruise lines sometimes reserve this part of the ship for suite guests and above. And at night, it did host the toga party, so not always as serene. Tucked inside is the Solarium Bistro, a buffet-style restaurant that is included in your cruise fare. It has a Mediterranean-themed menu, which does not change day to day. I do like to come here at least once during my cruise, as Mediterranean cuisine is a favorite of mine. Housed inside this space is where you would find the chef's table, an elevated 6-course dining experience on Royal Caribbean for just a few people per night. The Mason Jar on Deck 15 is another venue that is both a specialty restaurant and a standalone bar. It specializes in southern U.S. cuisine like gumbo and Cajun seasoned dishes. There is a relaxing bar area with sea views, and it often hosted a live band. As a standalone bar, it also has its own specialty cocktail menu. Further on is the separate dining area, which looks very inviting. The Mason Jar restaurant is not on many ships yet. Utopia is only the second ship to get it. It looks nice. I'm looking forward to seeing it on the refurbished Allure of the Seas later this year. Embarkation was straight on to Deck 5, and this is where you'll find the Royal Promenade, really the main thoroughfare, the heart of the ship, so to speak. It's a wide and spacious area and has several familiar spaces. Sorrento's Pizza on my left to name one, several other bars, snack places and shops. Now, the Utopia of the Seas is one of the largest cruise ships sailing right now. In fact, the second biggest in the world. We have the familiar classic car on display. Everything is very shiny and it feels very spacious. Walking afterwards, you find the Cafe Promenade, and then guest services if you need help with anything during your cruise. At the forward end now of the Royal Promenade is Bolero's Latin themed bar and the onboard Starbucks. The Royal Promenade isn't just for shopping. It would host entertainment like live music or themed shows, even dance parties. It would also host shopping events, themed shows like this Ghostbusters dance display, which looks a bit out of place. but I guess you had to be there. At the other end of the Royal Promenade is the Pesky Parrot. This is a Caribbean-themed bar with tropical cocktails with the Caribbean theme, and it is decorated with some bikinis and a mechanical parrot that talks.
A lot of people ask me, what's the best drink on the menu? My answer is always the same. The next one!
LCD screens that look like windows to a Caribbean view and comfy seating make this an enjoyable place to sit with a cocktail. And if you look up, loads of dollar bills are placed into the ceiling. I would say the cocktail menu was very inventive, like the peanut butter piña, for example. Yeah, the cocktail menu features lots of twists on the classics. I'm not sure where the dollar bills come from though. Also on the Royal Promenade is Boleros, a Latin-themed bar hosting parties and live music, a popular spot for sure. Also with a wide range of different cocktails, many of them tequila or mezcal based. Across from Boleros is Spotlight Karaoke. I think this is a great idea to have a dedicated karaoke space, rather than host them ad hoc in other venues. Because it really is popular, this makes sense. And now a tour of our cabin, 9192, a standard balcony cabin on Deck 9, which can hold up to 4 people. There were not any negative points about this cabin. The bed was comfortable, and there was plenty of storage space, with the twin wardrobes on either side of the bed. For twin beds, these can be divided. One of the wardrobes has a tall rail for dresses, and the other one has 2 shorter rails for shirts, which was really well thought out. The sofa can accommodate additional guests. There is an empty fridge, no minibar here, and the usual drawers with a hairdryer. This balcony is comparatively large, as 9192 was located where there was a bend in the design, giving a larger balcony. Overall, there was plenty of room for 2 people. Into the bathroom, compact but perfectly adequate. A good shower with 2 fittings. I recommend you bring your own shampoo and other toiletries, as Royal Caribbean only offers a hybrid shampoo shower gel product in this cabin class that I don't rate too highly. Now I will share with you my final thoughts on this cruise, and I'd like to hear from you if you have sailed on Utopia or were considering it and now feel you can make a decision. Starting with the positives. The ship itself was large, spacious, beautifully decorated, with lots to see and do. Really a floating marvel. Although it was holding so many people, it had a way of spreading the people, with so many events going on simultaneously and so many bars and restaurants to choose from. The food on board cannot be faulted in my opinion. Main dining room service was always friendly and quick, and the food was overall excellent. Also, I think the buffets are high quality. The entertainment was at a level I expect from Royal Caribbean. The Aqua Show and the Ice Show are very good quality and not to be missed. Also, getting on and off the ship at Port Canaveral was very smooth, so credit to everyone there. Now, there are some aspects I found not so positive. Is it worthy of the title of the world's biggest weekend? I think not. The champagne guns and dances were fun and it was a party atmosphere, but I don't think it's the world's biggest party by any stretch, and I personally prefer how Virgin does it, or Carnival. The other thing is the short itinerary. This ship tour was as extensive as I could make it, but Utopia only has 3 or 4 night voyages, and there's simply not enough time to sample all of the venues. I wish I had more time and didn't have to pick and choose. The other point about a 3 or 4 night itinerary is it allows for a different crowd. Not the main family vacation, but a long weekend to blow off steam, gamble, have some drinks and dance. So that's the target market here if you are wondering if it is right for you. To be fair, if it is relaxation you are after, the ship was big enough to allow for that. You could be as far away as you wanted from the action. As for Utopia Station and the Royal Railroad, it was an experience I was willing to pay extra for just to try it. However, I would not go in expecting an elevated dining experience. It is for the novelty and the show. So if you do try it, go a bit early to get the pre-boarding part of the experience, because we turned up at the stated time and were just ushered straight through. So, would I go on Utopia of the Seas again? Well, yes, but only for a longer itinerary. I just feel there was not enough time to really enjoy it properly, because I did enjoy myself and the ship was incredible. But tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your comments, and I will respond to every comment. Please like, comment, and share this video as it really helps the channel. Also, if you would like to see what we get up to in Florida, please check out my sister channel, See the World, and I will add a link in the description for that. That's all for now. I am the Walking Cruiser, and see you in the next video.